Rent in America feels out of control. In some cities, $2,000 a month gets you a one-bedroom. In others, it barely gets you a closet with Wi-Fi. So when you see rent listed under $900 for an actual apartment, your first thought isn't, where do I sign? It's, what's the catch? Today, we're breaking down 5 U.S. cities where rent is shockingly affordable compared to the national average. And no, this isn't fake listings or sketchy back alley sublets. These are real cities, real apartments, real prices. But here's the key. Cheap rent always comes with context. We're talking job markets, crime rates, population trends, local economies, and whether these cities are hidden opportunities or just low-demand markets. If you like honest breakdowns of where your money actually stretches further in America, hit subscribe. Let's start with a city where the rent might make you double-check the zeros. Here's number 5. Number 5. Lubbock, Texas. Lubbock sits in West Texas, surrounded by cotton fields and open highways. It's not Austin, it's not Dallas, and that's exactly why rent looks different here. With a population of around 260,000, Lubbock is large enough to have hospitals, shopping centers, and a major university, but far enough from Texas's booming metro areas that housing demand hasn't exploded. And when demand stays reasonable, rent follows. When you see $825 for a one-bedroom in Texas, you don't ask, is it real? You ask, how far is it from literally everything? Here's the breakdown. Average 1BR rent, $800 to $950 per month. Population, 260,000. Median household income below national average. Cost of living, 15% below U.S. average. Crime rate, slightly above national average. Texas Tech University plays a big role in stabilizing the rental market, but Lubbock isn't seeing the same tech influx or corporate migration that cities like Austin are experiencing. Now imagine this. You rent a clean one-bedroom for $875, in-unit laundry, parking included, no bidding wars, no 30-application wait list, but nightlife? Limited compared to major metros. High-paying corporate jobs? Fewer. A Reddit user once said, "Lubbock's not flashy, but your paycheck stretches further." That's the trade. Lubbock isn't cheap because it's collapsing. It's cheap because it's steady. Slower growth, lower wages, moderate demand. For students, healthcare workers, or remote employees, it can make financial sense. For someone chasing big city buzz, it may feel isolated. Would you take cheaper rent in a quieter city or pay double for big city energy? Comment below, because the next city on this list, the rent drops again, and the reason has everything to do with the Midwest. Let's move to number 4. Number 4, Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock is the capital of Arkansas. Government buildings, hospitals, corporate offices, riverfront parks. On paper, it looks like a normal mid-sized American city, but then you check the rent. One-bedroom apartments regularly list between $850 and $1,000 per month, far below the national average. And this isn't a tiny rural town, it's a metro area of over 200,000 people. When the capital city of a state has rent under $900, you don't panic, but you definitely start asking questions. Here's what the numbers show. Average 1BR rent, $875 to $1,000 per month. Population, 200,000. Metro, over 700,000. Cost of living, 10 to 15% below U.S. average. Median household income, below national average. Crime rate, higher than national average. Little Rock has stable industries, but it hasn't experienced explosive population growth. Without intense demand pressure, rental prices remain moderate. Now, picture this. You're renting downtown for under $950. River views, short commute, real parking space included. But in some neighborhoods, crime rates are a concern, and wage growth hasn't kept pace with larger U.S. cities. One Reddit user put it bluntly, "Little Rock is affordable, you just need to choose your area wisely." That's the key. Location inside the city matters. Little Rock isn't cheap because it lacks infrastructure. It's cheap because supply and demand are balanced, and wages are lower than in booming metros. For renters who prioritize affordability and space, it offers real value. For those chasing rapid career growth or high-energy urban life, it may feel limited. Would you live in a capital city with lower rent or a fast-growing city with higher costs? Let me know below, because the next city on this list, the rent drops even further, and the Midwest plays a big role. Let's move to number 3. Number 3. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Wayne is Indiana's second largest city. It's not flashy, it's not trendy, but it's steady. With a population of around 270,000, Fort Wayne has hospitals, manufacturing plants, logistics centers, and a growing healthcare sector. It's big enough to function like a full city, but small enough to avoid extreme housing pressure. And that's where rent gets interesting. One-bedroom apartments here often range between $750 and $950 per month. In 2026 America, that almost feels unreal. When rent starts with a 7, your brain immediately checks if it's missing a digit. Here's what's driving those prices. Average 1BR rent, $750 to $950 per month. Population, 270,000. Cost of living, 15 to 20% below national average. Median household income, below U.S. average. Crime rate, mixed, varies significantly by neighborhood. Fort Wayne has experienced moderate growth, but not the kind of rapid influx that drives bidding wars. Now imagine this. You rent a one-bedroom for $825. You have parking, space, maybe even a small balcony. No luxury high-rise fees, no $150 amenity package. But winters are real, and the nightlife isn't exactly Miami level. A Reddit user once wrote, "Fort Wayne isn't exciting, but it's affordable and stable." And for many renters, stability matters more than hype. Fort Wayne's rent is low because demand hasn't outpaced supply. Wages are moderate, growth is steady, not explosive. That balance keeps housing costs reasonable. For someone prioritizing savings, family life, or remote work, it can make financial sense. For someone chasing coastal energy or rapid career networking, it may feel quiet. Would you trade big city excitement for lower rent and more savings? Comment below, because the next city on this list, the rent gets even cheaper, and it's in a place many people overlook. Let's move to number 2. Number 2. Toledo, Ohio. Toledo sits right on the western edge of Lake Erie. Once known as a manufacturing powerhouse, it thrived during America's industrial boom. Auto parts, glass production, shipping, this city had momentum. But when manufacturing declined across the Rust Belt, Toledo felt it. Population growth slowed, demand cooled, and housing prices, including rent, stayed low. Today, one-bedroom apartments regularly list between $700 and $900 per month. In today's rental market, that feels almost impossible. When rent is $720, you don't ask about the square footage, you ask if utilities are secretly powered by optimism. Here's the breakdown. Average 1BR rent, $700 to $900 a month. Population, 265,000. Cost of living, 20% below national average. Median household income, below U.S. average. Crime rate, higher than national average in some areas. Toledo isn't collapsing, but it hasn't experienced the explosive rebound seen in cities like Columbus or Nashville. And when demand doesn't surge, rents stay manageable. Now imagine this. You rent a clean one-bedroom for $750. Parking included. No waiting list, no bidding war. But some neighborhoods show economic strain. Job growth exists, but not at Silicon Valley levels. A Reddit user once said, "Toledo isn't glamorous, but your money goes a lot further here." That's the key. Toledo's low rent reflects its economic reality. Moderate wages, slower population growth, balanced supply. For renters focused on affordability and saving money, it's attractive. For those chasing high salaries and nonstop energy, it may feel limited. Would you rather live near a Great Lake with cheaper rent or in a booming metro paying double? Comment below, because the number 1 city on this list, the rent drops even further, and it might surprise you. Let's move to number 1. Number 1. Wichita, Kansas. Wichita is the largest city in Kansas. It's known as the air capital of the world because of its long history in aircraft manufacturing. Companies tied to aviation, manufacturing, and defense have shaped the city for decades. But here's what stands out today. Rent. One-bedroom apartments in Wichita often range between $650 and $900 per month.
Yes, in 2026, while renters in major metros are paying $2,000 plus for similar space, Wichita sits quietly in the Midwest with prices that feel like they belong in another decade. When rent starts under $700, you stop complaining about square footage and start calculating how fast you can pay off debt. Here's what drives those numbers. Average one-bedroom rent, $650 to $900 per month. Population, around 395,000. Cost of living, 18 to 22% below national average. Median household income, below U.S. average. Crime rate, higher than national average in certain areas. Wichita hasn't experienced massive population growth. Wages are moderate. Demand is steady, not explosive. Supply hasn't been squeezed by tech booms or luxury high-rise waves. Now, imagine this. You rent a one-bedroom for $725. You have parking, maybe even in-unit laundry. No bidding wars, no 50 application competition. But career mobility may depend on specific industries. And winters, they're real. A Reddit user once said, "Wichita isn't flashy, but financially it makes sense." And that sums it up. Wichita's rent isn't low because it's collapsing. It's low because it's stable. Balanced demand, moderate wages, limited hype. For renters focused on savings, debt reduction, or remote work, it can be a strategic move. For those chasing high-energy nightlife and rapid salary jumps, it may feel quiet. Would you move to a city where rent is under $800 if it meant sacrificing big city buzz? Let me know below. Because in today's rental market, cities like Wichita remind us of one thing: cheap still exists. You just have to look away from the coasts.